Hello guys, and welcome to this game of TFT. Today we're looking at how to play Aurelion Sol, who recently got a lot of buffs on this latest patch, along with a rework of Astral, making it a lot easier to get a lot of value from this trait. Today's format is a long play, meaning that we're gonna watch this full game together as I comment on the gameplay and try to explain the thought process behind every move I make. I hope you're gonna enjoy it and maybe even learn something in the process. If so, remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. In this game we start with belts. I want to play flexible and I want to be able to slam some frontline items, so I'm not forced to play a certain comp. For those of you who've watched me for a while, you know that I love belt opener, and I will usually go for this item in ranked games. Right off the bat here we got a pretty decent start with Astrals, Vladimir pair, as well as an Italy sitting on bench. And from this next orb we get both a Lee Sin and a Volibear, as well as a bow. So a lot of gold and only 2 components. A lot of units as well. This is a really interesting opener, we have so many options. I buy this Syra here and want to buy this Vladimir too. So I sell the Senna, since we're probably not gonna play Cannoneers from this spot. Now we're just looking for the 3rd Astral unit, so we can get it online from the first round of PvP. In this last orb we get a Varus, and I decide that we're gonna commit to Astrals this game. And first augment we get a Prismatic. I think Living Forge is a really solid choice here if I want to play Flex, but with Mage Crown I can already zone in on my comp. I get a lot of direction from this one and I already have a Vladimir 2 on my board. So I end up going for Mage Crown. It also gives me a Spear of Shojin and a Silas as well, which is a great unit early game for Astrals. It's so easy to get both Mage and Bruiser online with this comp. Astral already has 2 Mages, Vladimir and Lux, while Skarner is a Bruiser. I sell my Dragonmancers here to make 10 gold, thinking that I might as well play Loose Streak and econ up with the 10 gold I have. But then I realized that I actually have a pretty strong board to play, and I can slam a CC Rod as well, which is really strong early game. So I end up playing for Windstreak here, leveling up, putting in Silas, and putting Mage Emblem on Varus, and slamming the CC Rod on my front line. Now I am considering putting the Spear of Shojin on Varus here. It's definitely the correct play since we already gave him Mage Emblem, but I can tell that we're already gonna win this round, so I end up not slamming it and waiting to see if I can put it on a better unit next turn. And as you can see, this is not even close. The CC Rod is giving us a lot of frontline. So is this Vladimir, who is also doing a surprising amount of damage. And we get a win. I'm just holding all these random units to force out the units that I actually need. Although the Lilia I might actually play later. And here we find the Lilia pair, which we're definitely gonna hold. Lilia 2 can actually secure our win streak throughout the early game. And I slammed the Spear Shojin on Varus, which is definitely the correct play here. And we're up against the Shimmer Scale guy. This fight should not be a problem. He has a Draven's Axe super early, so he's gonna be able to farm so many stacks. But his board right now is kinda weak. And this Varus is actually just chain CCing his whole board. Look at how long this stun is. Yeah, they barely get to play the game, and it's another win. And here we hit the Lilia 2, as well as a Skarner from Orb. Lilia 2 is very strong from this spot, so I decided to just fast level 5 and push a streak, and play the strongest board we can right now. I also want to put in the Skarner to get Bruiser online. And from here we have a very strong early game board. Very good balance of tankiness, CC and damage as well now with the Lilia 2. Okay, let's see how this next fight goes. This guy's new recruit, so he has 5 units on his board. And he's playing full Lagoon. Shouldn't be that strong. His only upgrade is Talia, and he doesn't have Mage. And we are already on the back line, and yeah, it's not even close. Also, this Aurelion Sol does not really do anything. Sol is mainly magic damage, so this item is basically a dead item on his board. And we get a win. On this carousel, I want to go for the belt and the 3-cost Rengar, but that gets snatched. So I end up taking this chain instead, going for another tank item, since we already have enough damage on our board. This is Lilius doing a lot of work, and so is this Varus, surprisingly enough. I haven't played a whole lot of Mage Varus. We get a Siphon here, but it is such a bait, and I'm really considering playing it. But I do think that playing Siphon here is incorrect. We don't have a single Siphon item, and I do not want to pivot out of these 2-star units. We could do this board, but honestly it does not look stronger at all. It is a Siphon 1 after all. We swap back to our old board, definitely looking stronger. And we end up selling the Siphon in the Rel, making 19, and potentially making 20 if we win the next one. And we're gonna put this chain on Silas just to maximize our frontline. This one shouldn't be hard to win though. Mage Wukong looks pretty spicy, but as you can see, this Varus is just chain CCing his whole team, while Lily is bonking away. We haven't even popped the CC rod here. He does have a Lux too, who can do some damage. And it actually comes down to the overtime here. Vlad versus Lux, but Vlad manages to secure the win for us. Now this last one is really important for us. If we can secure the streak into Crux here, we're gonna have a 5 streak going into Crux as well as 30 gold. It's probably the ideal early game, so hopefully we can win this. I'm gonna scout a lot here, try to see if I can do some nasty positioning into these guys. I definitely want a good angle on my Silas so he can mana reave a lot. And I end up putting Silas straight here in the middle and Vladimir in front, so we make sure that the enemy is gonna group around Silas here. This guy has Knife's Edge 3, which is super scary. He has a lot of strength on this board, but his whole board is 1-star besides the Senna. And we should be able to win it. We are definitely out DPSing this guy, and yeah, we just destroyed his team. Securing the 5 streak, 30 gold into Crux. This spot is very, very good. Now here at Crux, we hit Silas pair, and we hit a Nidalee 2 as well as Garner pair. At this point, I'm not even sure that I'm gonna reroll the Astral units. Maybe I'm just gonna play Tempo Mages and try to push levels and keep this win streak going. Here I scout to see if we're contested. And as you can see, we have one other guy playing Astral and Mages, but that's pretty much it. That does, however, mean that rerolling might not be the best option. It's all gonna come down to how many Astral units we can hit in the next couple of rounds. Here we get a belt, so I can slam a Sunfire. And we get a Vladimir too. I sell the Malphite here and the Karma, we're not gonna play those, so we can get over 40 gold. And I slam the Sunfire here for tempo, it's a really good item to slam now. And here we can just level and play another Vladimir. It's another mage on our board, and it's a 2-star unit. And it's definitely gonna help us keep our streak. Here I frontline the second Vladimir. Even though solo frontlining, the Silas might be more intuitive, but I want to keep him alive a little bit longer now that he has Sunfire. He does die pretty quickly, however, spawning the CC rod. But at this time we've already killed half of the opponent's team. And it looks like another win. Giving us a 6 streak going into the next augment. And here we get Preparation, Electrocharge and Scoped Weapons. Now since I already spotted that we're contested, I do not want to reroll, so Preparation is kinda out of the picture here. And these other 2 augments are not really good into mages, so I decide to reroll. And here we get Ascension, which is also a really good augment, and we get Essence Theft as well. Probably not gonna build that many aura items into this comp, so I'm gonna go for Essence Theft and get Mana Drain on all of our mages. We also get a Lux, so now we can play 5 mage. And here I level to 7 to get 5 Astral, get a little bit more AP on our board, as well as a 2-star Nidalee. This is a very tempo play, not a whole lot of games where you can go 7 on 3-2. It's a very aggressive move, kinda like it here. Since our board is looking very strong here, 5 mage, 5 astral, looking super solid. And as long as we can keep our streak here, it's worth it, right? We just want a tempo and keep on streaking. And the amount of gold we make here from win streaking as well as winning is definitely worth sacrificing some of our econ for. We're still above 20 gold, which is pretty normal for 3-2. So being level 7 here with a 7 streak, insanely good spot. And here we get Skarner 2 from Warp. Huge upgrade, more frontline. And we are one off hitting Vladimir 3 as well, which is gonna come in really handy for the mid to late game coming up. So hopefully we hit him from orbs. We're not gonna roll for it, since we're already level 7. We're just gonna pray that we get it from astral orbs. Here we up against full spell crit Kai'Sa. This guy's board is pretty underwhelming besides that Kai'Sa. He doesn't have a whole lot of frontline. And the Kai'Sa doesn't really get a chance to ramp up insanely much before we are on her, and she is dead. And it's another win, going into the third carousel. Now at this point in the game I already know that I'm going fast 9 to play either Aoshin or Asol, and we definitely need some damage items for them, so getting the tier here is really solid. At this point, I think that our board is about to fall off. We're still carrying Varus 1 and Lux 1 on our board, and all of the 2-star units that we have don't have a single item on them. There's not really a whole lot we can do about it, and sitting at level 7 and almost 50 gold, we cannot complain about this spot, that's for sure. And here we are up against Guild Cavalier Set. Now, this guy's board is definitely something. It is not strong though. We are actually flooring him already. And it looks like we get a free win here. I think this guy's just trolling. But it's good for us, we get to keep our streak. The more gold we can make now, the faster we can go level 9. And this free win is definitely worth a lot. And here we get the last Vladimir, giving us Vladimir 3. This is also a really important win, because we're going into the creep round, and if you can streak into a creep round, you get the gold 2 times. So it's actually worth double here, if we can keep our win streak, that is. And as you can see here, I am sweating my positioning, because I really don't want to be on the wrong side of these 2 Luxes. And I'm gonna corner bait our own Lux 1 here, so we can keep the Varus alive, who's definitely the MVP on our team. And it looks like we actually get the ideal positioning into this guy, so this should be a win. Let's see though, yeah, his frontline is gone, and yeah, the backline is gonna be gone in a second too. This Vladimir 3 completely crushing with his casts. That is very, very good. 10 streak going into Wolves. And this is quite ideal for us. And here at Wolves, I'm really hoping to get some more damage items for our team. We get a lot of components, but not really any good ones, unfortunately. And we get a Bard from the shop here. So I'm going to level 8 and play the Bard, so I can start farming dupes. And it's also really good CC on our team, so maybe we can keep our streak a little bit longer, although we should be falling off a cliff now. I don't want to slime another Shojin here. But I could, however, slime a Seeks, because we already have Essence Theft, so attack speed is actually good value on our team. And I end up going for the Seeks here. It's also gonna stack with Shojins, giving even more mana to our Varus. And hopefully we can beat this Namsi 1. Bard went off and stunned the whole backline. Meanwhile, Varus is also chain CCing left and right. And it's down to only the Noms here. And we get another win. And now it's time for the third and last augment here. And these are actually all pretty decent. I'm probably not going to go for Battle Mage because I don't want to frontline my units. Component grab bag is solid. But I think Stand United is just guaranteed value here. We get a lot of AP for a whole board, who are all double casting, so we are gonna go with Stand United here for that guaranteed power spike. Now, I said before that we should be falling off a cliff now, and honestly I don't really understand how we can keep on streaking with these carries. I mean, we have a really solid front line, and we have CC Rod and Sunfire for that true damage. But honestly, we could be falling off a cliff anytime soon, which would be okay honestly. We are level 8 with a lot of econ. But let's see, maybe we can keep the streak going. Bard gets a massive ult off here. Varus is also doing all he can to chain CC. But the enemy Siren manages to waddle down our backline, while Graves is done with the frontline here, and we actually lose our streak unfortunately. Kinda expected, and we got a lot of value out of this board. But the streak stops here, and here we get a Zoe. And we're definitely gonna play her over Lilia. Much better unit.
The harvest is upon us.
Even though it's a 1-star. From here on, I am thinking that we're just gonna sack. Sacking is definitely correct here. We have so much HP and so much gold to work with. There is not really any reason to roll here, because we are definitely going for either Azol or Aushin from this spot. So I decide that we're gonna go level 9, take the losses, and just hope that we can kill some units here and not lose too much HP. Now this guy is still carrying Kaiser 1. His board might be even worse than ours. And we killed the Kaiser really early into the fight. And from there it doesn't take long until we are on the Seraphine. Now I was expecting some good losses, so getting a win here is insanely good for us. And still at this 4th carousel in the game, I am focused on getting some damage items for our potential carry. And we get the Rod here on a forecast. Very good, that's an Archangel's. We're not gonna slam it now, since it doesn't really do anything for our board now, and I wanna have some more components to play around on Treasure Dragon. The more components you have, the more easy it is to get a good Treasure Dragon. But at the same time you should slam your item, so that's a really hard balance to figure out. At this point we can't really slam anything worthwhile. I don't want to use the tier for anything but Archangels, and I don't want to slam a Locket, so we're just gonna wait. Holding 3 components on your bench like this here might look weird, but I actually do think that it's the correct play. And here we go up against the guy with Knife's Edge 3. He's still carrying Olaf 1, but that Olaf 1 is about to do a lot of damage. We do get some really good CCs off, but the Olaf actually runs amok and he just completely cleaves our whole team. We also end up losing the next fight, and I'm just gonna skip ahead here to the Treasure Dragon, which is Auto Treasure Dragon, meaning that we're gonna get a Radiant item from it. And here we also finally hit the Varus 2 from Orb, just as we're about to pivot. I don't want the bow and the glove, so I'm gonna reroll here. And let's reroll again, this is not good enough. I'm thinking about slamming the 6 here, a lot of attack speed, but it's not ideal, and the Omnivamp doesn't do a whole lot for us. So we are gonna reroll again. Here we get Covalent Spark, and some really good items for frontline as well here. We are gonna take this. Here we find Yasuo. And we are just gonna go 9 now and start transitioning into the late game board. And now we hit the Azol. Let's play this guy. Give him Mage Emblem. And here we put the Spear of Shojin on Zoe, since Azol doesn't really need mana items. We'd rather go for a triple damage item. Here we find another Zoe and a Soraka. And I'm really looking to get some upgrades here. Any upgrades? And here we find Soraka 2 and another Azol. Let's hold off on that and get some items on our board. We want to get Archangels on Aurelion Sol, and we want to put the Covalent Spark on Silas here. And here I'm trying to slam some tanky items on Skarner, but he is almost dead before I even get to it. And I decide to hold off on slamming. Meanwhile I'm gonna sell this pair and sell the Yasuo as well so we can make Soraka 2. Our Azol is doing insane amounts of damage here. And he almost one-taps the whole board. The Jace is still alive here. And Lux manages to finish him off, and we get a win. I ended up having to lock the shop because I couldn't get enough gold to buy the Asol. We can buy it now, and now we can sell Nidalee and Skarner and play some better units. We're just gonna play Soraka 2 here. And I wanna play double Zoe. A lot of CC and a lot of utility for our board. And here we wanna do Redemption and Bramble on Vladimir. A lot of frontline, a lot of utility, good damage from Asol. Insane heals from Soraka. This board is looking pretty good already. We just need to hit some upgrades, so we're gonna keep on rolling here. Still no Asol 2. Unfortunate. Let's see if we can still win some fights though. We're up against Saya 1 here. So this shouldn't be all bad. Right off the bat, the Vladimir is face-tanking his whole team like it's nothing. The Shyvana's doing a lot of damage though. Our Asol is pretty low. However, it looks like with the stuns and utility from double Zoe, we managed to stay alive and get the win. And from this spot, we're gonna keep on rolling. We're still sitting on Asol pair and Zoe pair as well, so rolling is definitely correct. We hit the Zoe pair here, and now we can play this Yasuo instead of double Zoe. It honestly might have been stronger to just play double Zoe here instead of making the upgrade. Could you just bought the Zoe after the fight starts? We do get to upgrade the Zoe and play Yasuo here, but I think it's really close between the two. And here we fight Olaf 2. And yeah, just look at that. He lined straight up for the Zoe ult, who rolled double Lux ult and just completely destroyed him. We get an easy win here. Looks like we're stable already with Asol 1, but we are also fighting some pretty weak boards right now. A lot of good items here. A lot of MR Shred, which we already do have though in the Covalent Spark. So we're gonna take a healing item for Asol here. Take a Gunblade on a forecast, very good item to wrap up our Asol build with. And here we finally hit it, the Asol 2. Now we can definitely start econing up. We are still missing Silas 2, and we could play another item, and we could play another unit over Yasuo. So we are still not completely capped. But this is good enough for now. And let's see how well we do. I'm not gonna mess around with positioning really from this point on, since this positioning is just generally good into all comps you play into. And just as I say that, we are going up against a Syra 1, who is about to hit our whole backline. Look at this. This Syra into Lux ult actually kind of destroyed us. But however, it does look like we actually get the win here. Now what you can do to avoid Syra targeting your backline like this is splitting up your backline, because then Syra will most of the time target the front line instead, which can be a lot better for your team. Even though this guy destroyed our backline, we still get the win. We have too much frontline and he doesn't really have any damage. And what a shot we hit here. 2 Yasuos. I think we just make that and play Yasuo too. There's another Zoe in our shop here, but we are not gonna play double Zoes over this Yasuo 2 though. This is definitely the strongest board we can play right now. And here we get up against this Seraphine reroll board, but this guy didn't hit Seraphine 3. And with the positioning he has, we are just completely annihilating him. Look at this Asol ult, into Bard ult, into Yasuo ult, into Asol ult, and he is dead. And here we finally hit the Silas 2. And we also find Seraphine here, who we might want to play over this Yasuo. It gives us both Mystic and Evoker, which is how I think this comp is supposed to be played from this spot. Especially since we don't have items on this Yasuo. It is a Yasuo 2 however, so we need to hit Seraphine 2 before we want to play this. We get a Rabadon's Death Cap here from neutrals. And I'm gonna put it on Vladimir. It's actually a lot of value on this guy. It's a Vladimir 3, a lot of heals. And here we're just gonna roll. We hit the Seraphine 2, let's put it in over Yasuo. It might not be stronger, but I think this looks better on paper. And we also hit the Bard 2 here. So we are done. This is our board. And I am trying my best to position for this guy, but I'm missing one crucial thing. And that is the Blitz hook. So he is actually gonna hook our Sol here, even though we tried so hard to protect him. Sol gets into the middle, doesn't even get a cast off, and he dies. But the rest of our board is so strong. The Bard ult hits his whole team, so he's doing a lot of damage. Vladimir is holding the fort, actually surviving everything. The Vladimir is still alive, and we take the win. And this guy actually gives up and FFs. Thank you guys for watching this game with me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to sub and leave a like if you want to see more of this type of videos. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.